Dublin, my brother.
No.
Who knows how Sunday will go for the Vikings or the Steelers? Who's got 3 Leafs, 4 Leafs? I don't know. I haven't seen a clover yet here. Live from Dublin, Ireland. Jamie Erdahl, Manti Te'o, Kyle Brandt, and Mike Garafolo. And guys, before we get into a discussion about Thursday night football and Sunday morning football, I have to show you the most American and obnoxious thing that I've done already. And I've been here barely 24 hours. Can I present to you this sign that I brought with me in my luggage to ask people if they watch our show? Can I present this to Coach Cope? He's our intrepid producer. I want to know. I want to know. Do people watch us in Dublin, Ireland? I have a sign. I have a stand, and I'm going to find the people who watch us on Sky Sports, who watch us on DAZN, who watch us on probably an illegal stream that's on TikTok. Who knows? But this is what I have brought with me. This is the size luggage that I carried. So this is how I'm making friends in Dublin. It's not obvious at all. It's not subtle. It's everything perfect that we bring to the NFL and to Dublin, and I'm very excited for the day.
Yes. No, I did. Any problems at TSA, Jamie? That's a large item to get through. Are they all just looking at you like Cillian Murphy, just like completely unimpressed?
Stunned, unimpressed, but also asking who is this person and where is Kyle Brandt is also the other question I've been getting. Now, we have the answer to those things. Kyle, Manti, Mike G sit in New York for now. It's true. But we also are going to be joined here in Dublin by Judy Batista, a friend of the show who's always on. Judy.
Hi, Jamie.
She knows. She watches Good Morning Football. This Judy Batista does. And she's been sent over here because it doesn't feel like anybody else belongs with us, Judy, on this coverage than you because of your senior national insider reporter columnist status. The point is, you know the ins and outs of this league perfectly. Why Ireland? Why this year? Why these teams?
Well, this is part of the international series, but this was a long-held dream of the late Dan Rooney, of course, the Rooney family that owns the Steelers, and he was the ambassador here under the Obama administration. The Steelers played a regular season, a preseason game in Croke Park back in the late 1990s against the Bears. He always hoped that the NFL would play a regular season game here. So this means an awful lot to the Rooney family, an awful lot to the Steelers and the NFL. Certainly those of us who knew Dan Rooney are thinking about him during this.
That's really special, and we love that connection historically for the NFL. But as you mentioned, first ever regular season game. It's an important nuance because it does feel like it's a first time for the NFL. Yes. Now, not a first time for either of these teams internationally. The Vikings are quite equipped to play overseas. They're 4-0 in games played in Europe, London specifically. First time ever a team will do the back-to-back thing. The Vikings are going to play the Browns next week. However, the Vikings are also playing a quarterback that they are very familiar with in Aaron Rodgers. What's up with the Steelers quarterback these days?
Well, the Aaron Rodgers you're going to see that we've seen at least for the first 3 weeks here does not look like early Aaron Rodgers. We know, obviously, he's in his 40s, but everything has been short with Aaron Rodgers. Short, yards after catch. They're not going downfield that much. But listen, it's working. They're 2-1. He has certainly brought an element of leadership and stature to this organization that, frankly, they haven't had from the quarterback position since Big Ben was in his heyday. By the way, Big Ben is here somewhere in Dublin among a slew of former Steelers who are here for the occasion. But he has certainly brought that to the organization, and they needed that. But as you mentioned, the Vikings and Brian Flores' defense have had his number in the last few years.
The Vikings are coming in hot defensively, as we saw last week against the Bengals. Now, as you said, Rodgers, new to the Steelers brand, new to Arthur Smith. However, there is something, as he spoke to the local media this week, that he is all too familiar with when it comes to Ireland. Take a listen.
Aaron, I know this is a business trip, but what are you looking forward to about going over to Ireland this week?
Guinness. Guinness on tap is my favorite beer in the world.
Aaron,
and I don't really drink beer.
You would say a team that drinks together, wins together.
Yeah.
Have you tried to incorporate that more?
I'm not going to tell you that.
Yeah, I mean, I can't make any more obvious parallel than if you're in Italy, drink the red wine. If you're in Ireland, you got to drink the Guinness. And I have been given clearance to drink some beer at the end of this show. If that's not a television tease, then I don't know what else to tell you. That's happening at the end of Good Morning Football today. Now, until then, Manti, I must ask you, ahead of this Sunday morning NFL special, first regular season game ever to be played in Ireland between two pretty good teams, what do you make of this matchup? What are you excited about?
Well, what I'm excited about is to see this Pittsburgh Steelers defense. You know, Judy talked about the guys that were there, the legendary guys. That's the guys that I grew up watching, like the 08 defense, the 2010 defense. What's so strange for us guys is yesterday we had a discussion about how we're not used to seeing the Baltimore Ravens defense be bullied like that. We're not used to seeing a Steelers defense where you could run on it either. I remember watching a 2010 defense that had Brett Kiesel, you had Casey Hampton, Troy Polamalu, Ike Taylor, like all of these guys that played at a level of violence that Mike Tomlin said was purely responsible for what we know now as the Player Health and Safety Initiative. Like, when you watched the Steel Curtain, when you watch these guys fly around and make a lot of plays like they've made back in the day, you're not used to having this narrative where, oh, you could run on these guys now. Now the Minnesota Vikings have Jordan Mason. And Jordan Mason is one of the top 5 running backs in average yards per game with a minimum of 5 starts. This is the list, guys. Saquon Barkley, Derrick Henry, Jonathan Taylor, Jahmyr Gibbs, and Jordan Mason.
It's a great list.
It's a great list. So what am I looking forward to, guys? Can this Pittsburgh Steelers go back to the dominant, physical, mean defense that we've been used to seeing them in the past? Or is it that time where people are having a little bit more confidence in running against them? It's just odd to me. It's like how it was yesterday. It was odd to talk about Baltimore in that sense. But, Mike G, that's how I'm looking at this game.
I'm looking at Aaron Rodgers against Brian Flores and his defense for the 2nd straight year on European soil. I mean, back last October, while with the Jets, Rodgers threw 3 interceptions. You know how many times he's thrown 3 interceptions in a game in the last 14 years?
How many?
Let's go 3. And this was one of them right here.
He got ganked.
Yes, he did, with this pick 6 where he dropped them into coverage. Didn't see him, threw the interception, came back the next series, threw another interception. This is this one here that sailed with Van Ginkel, or there was another linebacker in the throwing lane there. And then the one at the end of the game. Now, listen, as bad as this went, 3 interceptions, this was still a chance to take the lead here. So Rodgers hung in there, made enough plays late, and had a chance to lead the Jets to victory, but the defense in the end made the stop there. So this is going to be another good matchup here between a grizzled, see, not grizzled, grizzled veteran and a grizzled defensive coordinator.
Mike Tomlin referred to Carson Wentz as a grizzly veteran, and Mike Tomlin is a great wordsmith. We think he was looking for grizzled. Grizzly is a bear in the United States. I don't know if they have grizzlies in Ireland. I don't know. But you know what I'm looking forward to? Something I didn't think I would be saying this week. I'm looking forward to seeing Carson Wentz, and I'll tell you why, a bunch of different reasons. First of all, I love the Irish people. I don't want to paint them with too broad of a brush. Can we see a picture of Carson Wentz? Is it possible that they might respond to Carson Wentz? I'm just putting this out there. He looks like football Conan O'Brien, all right?
Yes.
He's a big, tall guy who needs a lot of sunscreen and has a orange-red hair. Like, if I saw Carson Wentz walking the street, I would just think he's from Dublin, and I would think that's really cool. And the story is also really cool because I feel like if Carson Wentz gets cooking, A, I think the people in Ireland are going to love it. B, I'm fascinated to know what the people in Minnesota feel about it. The plot begins to thicken here a little bit. The plot being J.J. McCarthy's the guy. He gets hurt. He has 1 good quarter in 2 games. The rest of it is really shaky. Carson Wentz comes in last week. No big deal. 2 touchdowns, 70%, an easy win over Cincinnati. What if Minnesota develops this reputation under KOC as this sort of rehab football center, this vocational thing whereby Sam Darnold and Carson Wentz combined, it's like, wow, they're amazing all of a sudden. We thought they weren't so amazing. Carson Wentz, if he comes in this game, it's like, you know what, JJ? Let's get you right. Let's take the time. Let's get you right. Let's not rush you back. I think he has a huge opportunity. We said it. 6th team in 6 years. No one wants him. Everybody passes on him. The Carson Wentz story will be incredibly cool. Not only people in Minnesota, for people here, but also I like the symmetry with Ireland, and he looks like he fits right in there. So I hope he throws 4 touchdowns in this game.
The other half of this is that Aaron Rodgers was one of the guys that wanted to play for the Vikings and was interested with Minnesota. But they said, you know what, J.J. McCarthy, we want to make sure we get him going. They wanted a clear runway. They didn't want a veteran kind of hovering over his shoulders a little bit, which is why you've got Wentz, who wasn't there until, late in the summer when he finally arrived there in Minnesota. So that's another subplot here with this one because the reason these quarterbacks are doing well is Kevin O'Connell's a great coach.
Yeah.
Josh McCown is a quarterback's coach. The target you're throwing to, the system, the fact you're playing indoors. This is a great storyline to follow here with Carson.
I know the Steelers are an international brand, but in terms of Ireland, you got this big, tall, red-headed quarterback. You have a coach named O'Connell. Like, it's all kind of there if they could go in early. But let's find out about some things around the league. Ian Rappaport, coming from parts unknown here in the state of New York. Ian, are we going to talk about the Commanders quarterback? Who are we going to talk about? Because I want some positive news coming from you. Get us off to a good start. Come on.